All right, family, as a gift to the room, hosting this. So I want to take a moment here, welcome you to Leadership Conversations. This is the show where we talk about leadership according to the world that matters to you. And as we get things settled here, uh, moments to I have had a distinct opportunity and pleasure to come to you live on so many occasions. And so this is an extension of that. So I'm glad to be a part of your day today as we continue to grow our leadership and figure out strengthen uh, our ability to serve our customers and serve our teams and impact the community we love so much. I want to let's see here. I think we're back. This is something that continues to be top of mind for me and the work that I'm engaged in, and that is working with teams and utilizing teams to be a part of the journey that makes us ultimately achieve our goals and achieve success as we define it. And so teams is the topic today. And so I got everything kind of squared away. So as you come on into the room and you have your questions, you have your questions lined up. Let's see here. Yeah, you have your questions lined up. Go ahead and come into the room and I can see everything here. But yeah, so teams is like really to the journey that we're all on. And quite frankly, teams are essential to our ability to achieve success and to achieve the goals that we have. So there are a couple of things I want to share with you today that will help us move forward as we continue to talk about the role teams play in our growth and in our ongoing development. So here's the first thing, right? Teams, I think we need to start here. You need a team. You need a team to help you get to where you're going. And the idea that you can just do what you can do and do what you have to do and do it all by yourself really does not work. That concept, I think, has been thoroughly disproven. I think that we have seen enough cases where people have positioned themselves um, to do the work that they think is so vital and so important, and they've come to the conclusion that you know what, I just can't do it on my own. I cannot make it happen on my own, and so because they are unable to make it happen on their own, I think people are realizing that teams are critical. Now, one of the things that makes this conversation kind of difficult, frankly, is the fact that teams are hard to develop and they are hard to come by, particularly if you are recruiting from sources where teams are just always stretched thin or already at high usage by other resources. And so it becomes more important for you to figure out, how do I recruit a team and maintain a team for the goals that I have set for myself? That becomes uber important for you. It becomes uber important for your organization. It becomes super important for the goals you're trying to achieve. And at the end of the day, if you are unable to achieve that goal, the goal of recruiting a team to help you figure things out and to execute on the things that matter most to you, it becomes very difficult for you to find any measure of success as it relates to the goals that you have. So here's the first thing I want to share with you, and that is we all have to come to the place of saying, you know what, I need a team. I need a team to to be a part of the journey. I need a team to be a part of what I got going on. I need a team to be a part of establishing what matters most to me. And without the team, I can't make that happen at all. So it behooves all of us to come to that conclusion faster and sooner rather than later, particularly for us nonprofit leaders who, if you're launching something brand new, if you are in the process of launching a passion project, or you're putting some resources on the line where you're stepping up and saying, I care deeply about topic A, B, and C, and I want to make sure that this thing gets resolved. If that's the lane you're in, then it behooves you to begin thinking quickly and early about the team you need, not only for the moment, but the team you're going to need in the next 6 months, 12 months, 24, 36 months, and beyond. With interchangeable pieces need to come in and out for the team so that you can position yourself to achieve more with the team. So you need a team, and you need people to be a part of that journey with you. You need people to say, I'm signing on to whatever you got going on. I'm signing on to the journey you have you setting forth to go on, and I got your back in whatever capacity that you need it. And so that becomes super critical for your journey, to say, I need a team. I need people to help me get where I need to go. Here's the next thing I want to share with you. Once you get a team, all right, you do want to celebrate. You do want to make sure that you are, in fact, um, uh, highlighting the fact, and I'm sorry, guys, I'm watching the chat live. You want to highlight the fact that you do have a team. You were able to get folks to sign on and be a part of what you got going on. But beyond highlighting that fact, you also want to get to the point of saying, you know what, now that I have the team on board, and now that I'm able to navigate much more fluidly and much more easily with the people on board, I need to make sure I develop the team. I got to make sure that they are getting the training and the resources that they need from me, the person who's leading the effort, so that they can begin to execute on the vision that I see for us as a collective, right? I think, one of the challenges I see quite a bit in the marketplace is people who, they finally get a team. They finally have people who are on board with their journey. They're on board with the vision, and they don't provide the necessary training to make sure that those folks are positioned to do great things, to do amazing things. And that becomes extremely difficult for people to accept and to jump on board and be a part of. And so it becomes more of a responsibility for you as the leading entity, the leading source, leading force, to not only recruit team members, however you're recruiting them, whether it's through a board or whether it's staff members or people who are executing the vision. However you are executing the recruitment process, you got to not only worry about the recruitment process, you also have to make sure that you set aside the resources and the infrastructure for people to come on board and to get trained and developed in the job that you want them to fulfill. Now, you may have someone who is highly competent in a particular area, and they may be able to already perform at a high level, which is pretty cool, right? Even in those cases, right, those people with high skills, people with abilities that are beyond the norm, if you will, they still are going to require direction from you as to how to deploy those skills and when. Leads to are. If you think about a team player who is contributing to unique, you often hear coaches say that, man, things the player coach, whether it's the way they move, field to play, whether it's the way they think about the game, the way they think of team game. There are things that made magical player, if it's magical, that person has those things that they just bring on board, and those things that they are able to do and able to perform because of what they bring. But here's that the coach has to figure out, and that is, even though a particular person is able B and C, that particular person still needs my direction. They still need some direction on how to deploy their best skills in certain points and moments of the game. So instead of micromanaging their every move, because that is time consuming and it takes away from other members of the team who need my skill set and who need what I have to offer, I now take the responsibility as the coach to direct them to perform in a certain way at a certain point in the game. And as the leader of your nonprofit, as the one who is taking charge for the work that you are trying to accomplish, it becomes your responsibility to say, even if you have high impact skills, even if you are someone who is technically sound and have a number of things that you bring to the table, I need you to bring those things to the table, but deploy them at this point of the project, or deploy them at this point of our operation, or deploy them at this point of the program, right? And then you can go maxed. You can go to your max and go ahead and do what you do at your max at this point. Otherwise, I need you to scale it back. Here's the reasons why. Right. So development for your high impact team members, and development, of course, for your lower impact team members is a no-brainer. People who have the want to and the desire, but they don't know how to, right? They never been exposed to what you're doing. They've never been exposed to the new elements of this environment that you've invited them into. So now you want to develop those people as well. You're probably going to have to be a little bit more specific and a little bit more hands-on with them, because they may not know the skills that they have in place, or how their passion area can be deployed, or how they can be best used on the team. And so if that's the case, you're going to have to develop those people, and it becomes your responsibility to figure out how to toggle between a high impact individuals and the lower impact individuals. So we talked about you need a team. You need to celebrate the fact that folks come on the team, and you've acknowledged that you need a team. We talked about you got to develop a team. And here's something that I found that is very difficult for a lot of leaders to do, and that is to get out of the way. Get out of the way of your team. Let your team do what they do, and let them do it well. Even with your lower impact team members, get out of the way, right? Once you teach people how to do something, and once you get in folks in position to actually finally perform the job that you brought them to do, get out of the way. And there are several reasons for that. Number one, people need an opportunity to show you what they've learned from you. They need an opportunity, number two, to show you what they can do within the context of the organization or the team. And number three, you don't know what you truly have until you put people in the game, and you finally get out of the way and you let them do what they are supposed to do. How do you know you have the people in a team if you're always there standing in the way? Know if you don't have the right people there, if you always display and not let folks do what they're supposed to do? How do you know that it's time to let someone go? Or how do you know it's time to promote someone if you are always in the way of their development? Your job, your responsibility, the goal that you have is to put your team in position to say, hey, I need you to be at your best. And I'm going to release you to be at your best by one, training and preparing you, and by getting eyes so that I'm not a hindrance to taking advantage of the opportunity to think through what's going on, to think through how your skills can be used in this moment, to think through the training you receive, to think through what it takes to kind of grow, what it takes to mature, what it takes to do something awesome, to do something amazing. And so I challenge you, leader who's watching particular broadcast. I challenge you to start to trust your team. I challenge you to begin the process of letting go. I challenge you to begin the process of navigating through what it means to recruit people, means to train people, what it means to get out of the way so that people can show you what they have. If you're not able to do that, I think that I have seen in too many cases where leaders aren't developing their team and they're not getting out of the way, where the team begins to and they quit on you. All right. So as you begin to work on your passion projects, as you begin to work on the things that matter most to you, begin to think about talking about how to develop a team and how to grow your team. You got to realize you need them. You got to realize you got to develop them, and you got to get out of their development. This is Dr. William Clark for Leadership Conversations. Follow us on all social media platforms. And if you don't know how to get a hold of me on social media or any other platform, go to my website, www.drpclark.com. Scroll to the bottom, all of my social media links, and they'll take you to every page that I'm a part of. This is Dr. Clark Conversations. We'll see you in the next show. Peace.